Yasu Malakizo. Welcome to the Malaka podcast. Chris Tucker. He's one bad motherfucker. I'm sorry, can I do that again? That's just way too cheesy. Hold on. 3, 2, 1. Chris Tucker. He's a pretty cool dude. I'm sorry, I think that sounds too white. Okay, hold on, let's just do it one more time. All right, hold on. 3, 2, 1. Chris Tucker. This guy always made me laugh. I don't give a shit when anybody says whatever this guy does, he's funny. You know, sometimes he pops into a comedy, sometimes he'll do the dramatic role, sometimes he just does great stand-up shows. I mean, it's just whatever this guy does, he's always funny. He's just a naturally funny guy, and God bless him for it. This is a guy who did a couple jobs, started off in films, then all of a sudden he goes from making $3 million to $20 million in one movie. I don't know how many people can say they did that, but he did it. And you know, nowadays you don't see him as much and whatever, and you hear about he owes money in taxes, and he got caught speeding or something, and his excuse was he was rushing to go to church, and you know, even God is on his side. Okay, so but either way, he makes me laugh, and he brings a lot of joy to a lot of people. Very funny guy. I even saw him recently in one of the NBA pregame shows, whatever, and they're asking him, you know, about the whole PC culture now, and you know, he even admitted, you know, you have to move on. You have to go with the times. You have to evolve as a stand-up comedian. Now, a lot of people agree with that, a lot of people don't, but whatever. You know, he just seems to get it. And if one day will we see Chris Tucker in another Friday movie? That's the question. But until then, I'm just going to go on Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, and talk about Chris Tucker, the man that always makes me laugh. Christopher Tucker, born August 31st, 1971, is an American actor and stand-up comedian. He is known for his roles as Detective James Carter in Brett Ratner's Rush Hour film series, and Smokey in F. Gray Gray's Friday. He became a frequent stand-up performer on Def Comedy Jam in the 1990s. He appeared in Luke Benson's The Fifth Element, Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown, David O. Russell's Silver Linings Playbook, and Brett Ratner's Money Talks. Now, we've all heard the stories about Brett Ratner. That's another podcast for another time. But he's done some funny movies. And I've never seen a guy, like I said before, start off with some jobs, movie, TV, and then all of a sudden make $20 million a film that quick. If anybody else has seen that, please tell me. Because I don't seem to be the most with it these days when it comes to the next generation of comedy. You know, I think a lot of people are kind of calming it down for the whole PC culture, but I don't live in the PC world. Once again, that's a podcast for another time. But as far as I can tell you, Chris Tucker has always made me laugh. And he's one of these guys that can just easily go into a movie right now and still make people laugh. I really believe that. He's still doing stand-up. He's still killing it there. Let's talk about his stand-up for a little bit. Now, the first time I ever saw him do stand-up was in Def Comedy Jam. Now, for those of you who don't know what Def Comedy Jam is, Def Jam Records started Def Comedy Jam. I know that's hard to believe from the name, but basically these guys got a whole bunch of young, talented comedians. And before these guys blew up big on television, movies, guys like Bernie Mac, Jamie Foxx, Martin Lawrence, Dave Chappelle. I mean, all these guys just came from Def Comedy Jam. And I remember at the time, I mean, keep in mind, it's not like today, you got the internet, you could just download shit, go on YouTube, see all these things. We always knew somebody that had VHS tapes of, Def Comedy Jam, and then we would double tape, not that we were supposed to by law. I'm just saying, times were tough back then. Okay, we're trying to save a couple bucks, and somebody had this tape, somebody had that tape. Okay, we'll trade you for this. Well, okay, let me borrow this for, a couple days, and that turned into a couple weeks, and that turned into, we just kept it forever. But the point is, this is where we discovered a lot of these guys. We remember the commercials, and we're not going to pay for that shit. And so, we would just borrow it from someone else. And I remember seeing Chris Tucker for the first time on Def Comedy Jam, and he just gets on there, he's wearing the baseball jersey, and he's wearing the leather cap. Now, in the 90s, you were definitely known as a funny person if you wore a leather cap. Okay, if the Fresh Prince taught us anything, and the way they set the trends there, it was just meant to be. So he just gets on there, and he's just like, "What's up? Pissed off, man." And he just goes into his rant. He talks about Michael Jackson, and eventually that information got to Michael Jackson, and he was introduced to him, and they ended up having a great friendship as well. Even Chris Tucker tells a story how they were walking in a mall one day, and he just wore like a face mask. And this is before, people were wearing, the face mask, to not die. And, he even told Michael Jackson, like, Mike, people are going to recognize like who you are. It doesn't matter, and of course crowds would eventually come, and, they couldn't go anywhere. And, he eventually was in the music video You Rock My World for Michael Jackson's last official album that he recorded when he was alive. He was in a little skit in the album as well. Marlon Brando was in the video. I mean, it was a big video. Good song, and it's just cool how like comedy just brings people together. So, and then people started recognizing him just from that alone. He had a very distinct voice, very good approach. The way he did the Michael Jackson impersonation, he'd be like, "What if Michael Jackson was a pimp?" "Slow down, Tito. Slow down, Tito. Damn." Again, Chris Tucker, if I ever meet you in real life, please don't beat the shit out of me. The point is, he just did it so well. Like I said, he's a very natural, just a funny guy, I mean, even told a story recently on the TI podcast. Like people would always tell him he's funny, but then at first, like he thought like people were laughing at him, instead of with him, and you learn from a young age if you're funny or not. If you could make your fellow classmates laugh, then you got something going there. So, but there's so many other crazy facts about Chris Tucker, and I'd like to share them with you if you don't mind. Do you guys mind? Sure, why not? I want to satisfy my 3 listeners. Now, like I said before, Chris Tucker was born in Atlanta, Georgia. He was the youngest son of Mary Lewis and Norris Tucker. One of 6 children, Tucker learned from an early age that humor has the power to draw attention to himself, both at school and at home. Of course. I mean, when, you got 5 other siblings, you're basically competing against, you want to stand out. Then, I always say there's nothing like the power of a sense of humor to get people's attention. And in some cases, respect as well. His father was an independent businessman who owned a janitorial service. Tucker grew up in Decatur, I hope I said that right, Georgia, and after graduating from Columbia High School in Decatur, he moved to Los Angeles, California, to pursue a career in comedy and acting. Well, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. Nope, that's New York. But the other any place and anywhere, whatever, is definitely LA. Okay, so huge comedy scene there, lots of comedy clubs. The weather's nice, other than a few earthquakes. Why not? Let's do it. 1992, Tucker was a frequent performer on Def Comedy Jam. As I mentioned before, he got the one spot there, and the popularity grew from there. Then he made his cinematic debut in House Party 3, and, he got more attention there. Obviously, even more attention from, being in the 1995 film with Ice Cube called Friday. And in 1997, he co-starred with Charlie Sheen in Money Talks, alongside Bruce Willis in The Fifth Element. And then later on, teamed up with Jackie Chan, did the Rush Hour movies, 1, 2, and 3. Why did 3 take so long to come out? Who knows? Why are we waiting so long for part 4 to come out? That's even a bigger question. But, things happen. What are you going to do? And after the commercial success of the Rush Hour films, Tucker held out for a $20 million salary for the Rush Hour 2 and was paid $25 million for Rush Hour 3. Which really raises the question, how did he go broke? I think it has something to do with taxes. I don't know. I'm just saying, guys, I can't stress this enough, guys. Especially if you're an actor, you gotta pay your taxes. I mean, actors are the first people they go after. Okay, just ask Wesley Snipes. Okay, and then Tucker did not reprise the role for Smokey in the next Friday. I don't know what happened there. He didn't do it in the third one either. It says here, apparently he became a born-again Christian after filming Money Talks. How many people can say that they became a born-again Christian and then decided to work with Charlie Sheen? I mean, that's just, okay, you know what? I'm going to go to heaven, but I'm going to work with the devil. Okay, that's cool. I'm not saying Charlie Sheen's the devil. I'm just saying there's a lot of temptation there, I mean, Charlie Sheen was making $2 million a week for a sitcom. That's a story for another time. But wow, okay. But like I said, not only did he show up in Michael Jackson's video "You Rock My World," but he also showed up in Tupac Shakur's "California Love." How many people can say they showed up and worked with both people? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It says here on February 13th, 1999, Tucker participated in the NBA All-Star Weekend Celebrity Game. Other celebrities participated, including the rapper Master P, who was this close from becoming a Toronto Raptor. NBA Hall of Famers Clyde Drexler and Dominic Wilkins. Wide receiver Terrell Owens. And 4 members of the Harlem Globetrotters. Tucker was announced in 2007 to star in a New Line drama film, Mr. S, My Life with Frank Sinatra, directed by Brett Ratner and based on George Jacobs' autobiography of working as Frank Sinatra's valet during the Rat Pack era of 1953 to 1968. It's the first time I'm hearing of this. I have no idea this movie actually came out. That sounds pretty cool. I mean, a lot of times when you have these people behind the scenes, you always get the best stories. So, in 2011, Tucker made a comeback to stand-up comedy. Why not? It's like getting on a bike, riding a bike, whatever. You don't forget. Like I said, he's a very naturally funny guy. I mean, why wouldn't you do it? The next year, Tucker returned to a film in the Academy Award-winning drama Silver Linings Playbook, co-starring Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence, and Robert De Niro. Tucker's performance in the film was well received by critics and audiences alike. The film itself received numerous nominations and awards. Tucker was among the winners of the Broadcast Film Critics Association Award for Best Cast in 2012. He also hosted the BET Awards in 2013. Tucker has a son named Destin, who lives with his mother in Los Angeles. He divides his time among Bel Air, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Nevada, and Atlanta, Georgia. Wow, he's a busy dude. Tucker is good friends with fellow Rush Hour co-star Jackie Chan, and was also close friends with the singer Michael Jackson, obviously, introducing and dancing with him at the 30th anniversary special, and appearing in Jackson's video, You Rock My World, as I mentioned, I believe for the 5th time, from his 2001 album Invincible, and attending Jackson's memorial service. Tucker's career was also influenced by Jackson, as he is seen dancing and singing to Jackson's song Don't Stop Till You Get Enough in a scene in Rush Hour 2, and imitating Jackson's dancing style in Friday. So not only can he do the acting, not only can he do stand-up, but he's a hell of a dancer. A friend of Bill Clinton. This guy, Bill Clinton, Ice Cube, Michael, this guy knows everybody. Tucker has traveled with the former president overseas and endorsed Barack Obama in 2008 primaries. And he knows Obama. Holy shit. Tucker participated in the PBS documentary on the genetic makeup of African Americans. He found he has African, European, and Native American ancestry through DNA tests, as aired on the 2006 PBS documentary African American Lives. His ancestry was traced back to the Mbundu ethnic group of Angela, and one line of his mother's to the Bamileke of Cameroon. Once again, I hope I did mess up those names. He also traced his family tree back to the 1830s. Tucker was shown visiting Angola, the birthplace of some of his ancestors, with the program's host, Henry Louis Gates. In 2014, Tucker settled a $2.5 million debt. A representative blamed poor accounting and business management. Again, guys, you gotta keep your affairs in order. Everybody, doesn't matter, even if you're not a star actor, just make sure you keep track of everything. Okay, 2 things are certain in life: death and taxes. Again, Wesley Snipes, great example. Love you, Wesley. Can't wait to see you in the new Blade movie as the mentor. Just saying. But through all this, Chris Tucker has still been able to keep himself relevant. And God bless him for that. He's a very funny guy, like I've said before. And, as long as you know what to do and how to manage your time and your jobs, you'll always be able to keep yourself in the scene and in the loop, and always make a good amount of money. So don't worry, he's paid off his debts. He knows what to do now. It's all good. We all make stupid mistakes. When we're younger, we're all stupid. We all think all this money is going to come in and it's just going to last forever, and then you realize you got to keep making the money, and But anyways, like I said, very funny guy. He always manages to come back on top. Now, his acting resume. I said this before. I've never seen a man go from this quickly, a simple job on a TV show and make $20 million a film. Okay, you can say what you want about Chris Tucker. This is awesome. This is something I think this is always the coolest thing about Chris Tucker, is that, he worked his ass off and he was able to get the attention of a lot of people, get a lot of jobs, and then build up a good rep for himself, and then make $20 million in one film in such a short amount of time. And the very first job he had was a little TV series called Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Now, if you don't remember this show, I guess you're not a kid of the 90s, because you don't remember Mr. Cooper. And he was actually, I totally forgot too. I think he was a gym teacher, and he lived with 2 women. And then, yeah, that was pretty much it, I guess. And it was a good little show. It was all right. And then I remember, Chris Tucker showed up in an episode, and he played a rapper. That's it. Please Pass the Jock was the name of the episode. Yeah, and that's it. And then after that, he did The Meteor Man, MC in the Mall. He was uncredited. It's about a guy who gets hit with a meteor, and he becomes Meteor Man. Just gets superpowers. He's not able to stop traffic, as you can see. But other than that, yeah. House Party 3. Was as good as House Party 1 and 2. But, he played a guy named Johnny Booze. And, again, this is a perfect example. Like, you see him in this one scene. He's just, he's doing his own thing. He's funny. Funny movie. I like the House Party movies. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I think they're all funny in their own right, Heavy D and the Boys. Nothing but love. And he played the friend in the music video there. He was in the movie Panther, played a bodyguard. And right after this was where Chris Tucker will always be remembered as Ice Cube's buddy, a.k.a. Craig, the one and only Smokey. I know you don't smoke weed. I know this. I'm gonna get you high today. 'Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do. As that logo is playing in the beginning, like the song hasn't even dropped yet. Trying to find a better way. It's, like right there, he just pulls you in right there with that character. Now, me personally, I prefer the original version over the director's cut, because I'm just so used to seeing Pops in the beginning there give that, speech, like holding the bag of grapes and just going nuts. Every time I'm in the kitchen, you in the kitchen. You know what he says, okay? I'm not going to repeat myself. Just listen to my John Witherspoon podcast. It's all there. But, Chris Tucker comes in a little sooner before in the credits in the director's cut. I like the original version better. He just, shows up in the window there. Break yourself, fool! And right there, he's that stoner guy who just, he's there. He's just dealing weed. He's still living in his mom's house, and he doesn't get along with his mom. And I don't know. You think they got a rapport of a mother and or sister there, or brother, like whatever. I'm just saying, he gets Craig into trouble. If you got a debt, you don't sucker your boy in. Come on. Smokey should have known better than that. I'm just saying. But this is probably his most memorable role. A lot of people say Rush Hour. It's definitely Friday for sure. Even Snoop Dogg has a podcast. Like at one point, he's talking to Chris Tucker at like a basketball game, and then Chris goes up to him and he says, "Hey man, do you think I should do another Friday?" And Snoop's like, "Yeah, man, it's your best role. Like, well, like why wouldn't you do it?" And it's the same thing. Like we're all thinking, what the fuck? And then you find out, I don't like doing sequels, man. Okay, so you don't like doing sequels. Okay, Rush Hour 1, Rush Hour 2, Rush Hour 3, maybe Rush Hour 4. What do you mean you don't like doing sequels? Someone gives you $20 million to do a fucking sequel, you're not going to do it? Come on, man. We need Smokey there, okay? In the beginning of next Friday, they mention, okay, he had to go to rehab for weed. I don't know anybody that's ever gone to rehab for weed. I mean, I don't. I think if you show up at rehab for weed, I think they'll just laugh at you until you get the fuck out of here. But I'm getting off topic here. The point is, Friday is a stoner classic. It's excellent. I mean, just the distinct look of what Chris Tucker looks like in there. He's got the chain, he's got the backwards hat. Just that whole look is very 90s, and he's just hilarious in it. He's just natural, like even when he's paying off the guy, like he's counting the 20s, and like he flips it on the other side, and it makes it look like more. Like, that shit's hilarious, man. Just like little things like that. It just, I love it. I could quote lines all day, but I don't know. It sounds too white. The point is, just check out this movie. You will laugh your ass off. It's a stoner classic. Definitely one of the funniest stoner movies of all time. Then the next thing he did was Dr. Dre, Keep Them Heads Ringing. He's in there, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember him in the video. But the song is for the Friday soundtrack, I believe, and yeah, why not? He's in Dead Presidents. Now this movie's more of a little bit more of a serious movie, other than Friday, of course. And yeah, he plays definitely more of a dramatic role. Again, I don't want to give away what happens with his character, but yeah, I thought he did a great job with it. Next thing he did was Tupac featuring Dr. Dre and Roger Troutman, California Love. Classic song, classic video. I think he said in one interview when he was playing the evil tribal chief, he was in the back of a truck, and at one point he almost fell and died. Yeah, was it worth it? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be in a Dr. Dre video in the 90s and or Tupac video, and just to work with both those dudes, I mean, forget it. I'd risk my life. Fuck it. Then he was in The Fifth Element. How do I explain this character? Ruby Road, or R. Hood. I don't know how they pronounce it. Road, I think. Yeah, probably. Very unique haircut. I'll give him that. A lot of people consider this role annoying. Kind of throws off the serious action tone of the movie. A lot of people would say, yeah, I think it's funny. It's just Chris Tucker being a flamboyant homosexual. I mean, I assume that. I don't know. I'm judging by what I see. Not there's anything wrong with that. To quote Seinfeld, I'm just saying. Okay, I thought his role was funny. He did Chris Tucker. I don't know what to tell you. Good movie too. Great action movie of the 90s for sure. Money talks, bullshit walks. How could bullshit walk? That's slang, huh? All right, that's another movie. But yeah, funny movie. I liked it. This is basically just, again, Chris Tucker doing his thing, working with Charlie Sheen. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a funny movie. I enjoyed it. I always thought it was funny that his character, he tried to talk to Paul Sorvino there, and we all know Paul Sorvino as, Paulie in Goodfellas. And, he tried to be a Victimone and Lola Falana's kid. I don't know, that's funny. If you don't know who those two people are, he's an Italian singer, she was a black singer, and they had a little thing going on there back in the day, and of course back in the day, it was a whole, people gave him shit for that. You're not supposed to be with this person, you're not supposed to be that, and they were both like, go fuck yourselves, we love each other, that's it. And he tried and in the movie, the joke is he's supposed to be the child of those two people. I mean that's not the center of the movie. I mean, the whole point is them getting back the diamonds, whatever. And then that whole stadium scene at the end. I don't know. I thought that was pretty kick-ass. But yeah, I liked it, man. I thought it was a funny movie. I liked it. Mace feels so good. He's in that music video. What's fucking hilarious is I had no idea he was in this video. Like, he is in this video for like a microsecond. Okay, everyone's wearing shiny suits. I mean, you gotta wear sunglasses just to watch this video. I mean that's how all the videos were like in the late '90s. But yeah, he's in it for like a short second. Even I saw Mason interviews like, "Oh yeah, we got Chris Tucker." I'm like, "No, you didn't." And then they show the microsecond clip, and I'm like, "Oh shit, they did." Okay. Yeah. So I don't know, if you blink, you miss it. But yeah. Then he was in Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown. I think it's one of his most underrated movies, but we'll get into that another time. With Quentin Tarantino, I'm going to need a lot more time to discuss his career, but he didn't blow, he didn't play, he didn't shoot, he didn't score, he played Beaumont Livingston. That's how excited I am about this movie. But, great movie. If you've never seen it, check it out. Again, I don't want to give anything away, but he has a little role in that, and yeah, he was good in that. I mean, he was, him and Samuel Jackson, play really well off each other, and yeah, check it out. Then came along Rush Hour, and this is where, this is where the money really came in for Chris Tucker, for sure. I believe he got $3 million for this role, and just him and Jackie Chan teamed up. I think the tagline was like the fastest fists in the West meet the fastest mouth in the East, or something, or maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. Either way, it's a good little balance, because at the same time here, a couple of years before that, Jackie Chan was kind of introduced to North America from Rumble in the Bronx, and I always tell people, like, don't judge Jackie Chan from that movie. I mean, it's a good movie too, or Rush Hour. I mean, they're good movies, don't get me wrong, but you got to see the shit that Jackie Chan did in the 70s and especially the 80s. But again, that's a tale for another time. But again, Chris Tucker just doing his thing, naturally funny guy, and yeah, the movie was a huge hit. I remember seeing it in theaters, with my buddy, and yeah. Great movie. And he did Friday deleted scenes, so I guess this would have been around the same time that they released the director's version, or director's cut version. Like I said, I prefer the original. It's more like how the movie starts in the beginning and more how it ends is what, the difference is. But, I'm just so used to the original, I just prefer the original. So either way, doesn't matter. Good movie. And of course, because of the success, 3 years later, they made Rush Hour 2. And $20 million he got for this movie, like I said before. So let's just count up like how many things he did. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 if you want to count the Friday deleted scene. So 15 jobs, including music videos, movies. Like a lot of actors, they got to wait a long time to get that paycheck. They never seem to get it. Sometimes, they're lucky if they get half that. I mean, but, people loved him, I love him. I think he's great. He's really funny. And I think Rush Hour 1 was better than the second one, but that's not to say Rush Hour 2 wasn't good. It was still good, still entertaining. Had some good action scenes, good comedy, and yeah, there you go. And he did Michael Jackson's You Rock My World, a music video there. Then he did Mariah Carey's video, Shake It Off. And 6 years later, which I can't believe they waited that long to make Rush Hour 3. Rush Hour 3, I mean, I don't know. It seemed to be lacking something. I don't know. Maybe it was just like the amount of space between movies. I don't know. It just wasn't as good as the first two. I don't know. It was lacking something, And one thing I forgot to mention before, at the end of all three movies, they show a blooper reel, and Chris Tucker being very professional, as always. Of course, he had his cell phone in one of the scenes, and of course he picks it up because, it'll make for a funny blooper. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The check cleared, whatever, All I'm saying is I hope they make more Rush Hour movies in the future. Try to do what they did in like the first and second one. The third one, I don't know, it just more, I don't know, it just seemed longer. It just wasn't as good. That's just me, but whatever. And then, for 5 years there, he didn't do any jobs. Just nothing. I mean, I think he was facing the legal trouble there, owing money and whatever. And, just took a break, I guess. And I always tell people this. I mean, like, he takes a 5-year break. And then what does he do? He has a little role in Silver Linings Playbook. He plays, a buddy there of Bradley Cooper, I think, and he's he helps him out a little bit, and then he does he teaches both white people how to dance, which is something that white people have been fucking up for years, and it's great. It's a nice little role. So it tells you, like, even after 5 years, he still knows how to pick a good role. So it's not like he's just doing this for the money or whatever. Like he picked a great movie, and it's a great movie. So whenever you get a chance, check that one out. Billy Lynn's longtime halftime walk. I never saw this movie. It got decent reviews. I believe it was released for Netflix. Maybe no, it wasn't. It was directed by Ang Lee. There we go. If you know Ang Lee, his work, he's done some pretty good movies in the past. Yeah. So not a Netflix movie, I don't think. And yeah. And the next thing he has lined up is Rush Hour 4. And it says here, according to IMDb, it is announced, which means more than likely it will happen. Rush Hour 3, he made $25 million. Rush Hour 4, it should happen. I mean, why not? He's rumored to play James Carter, shocker. And yeah, Jackie Chan's supposed to be on board again. From what I'm told, Jackie Chan is pretty much retired, but again, money talks and bullshit walks. So, what's in store for Chris Tucker in the future? I still believe he can come back. He comes back at Rush Hour 4. If Will Smith and Martin Lawrence can come back with another Bad Boys, why not? I mean, just, like, we're living in an age right now where everything, kind of like 80s, 90s is slowly coming back. It could be a TV show, it could be a movie, it could be a special, whatever. I mean, the potential's there. And Chris Tucker has always been a funny guy. And, he's a funny guy then, he's a funny guy now, And you don't lose that. He'll always be funny. So I hope to see Chris Tucker in more shit for sure. I mean, they should be on like Rush Hour 10 by now, but whatever. Just put more into the script, like more comedy, more action. Especially in times, like these days we're living now, we could definitely use some more comedy. So I just want to say, Chris Tucker, thank you very much for all the funny times. All the funny times I got stoned, and I would just spend the whole day getting stoned and watching, Friday, and just laugh my ass off. And it taught me two things. One, if you're going to take a shit in public, make sure you have toilet paper. And two, the weed be letting you know evil lurks.
I was just bullshitting. And you know this. Man! Lionel Richie ain't been black since the Commodores, man.
Thank you very much, Agent Carter, a.k.a. Smokey, a.k.a. Chris Tucker.